Hello and welcome. Today we have a very interesting topic. We are continuing our series on how to grow your list fast. And today I am delighted because I have two guests of which I've met through connecting, networking, and synergizing. And today I'm going to be interviewing them and they're going to be sharing a little bit about their business. And then we're going to announce an upcoming opportunity for you to join us as we are putting together a Synergy Partners Networking event for tomorrow at 2 p.m. So I have a question for you. Do you like networking? Before the pandemic, perhaps you attended many live in-person events where you got an opportunity to network, where you were meeting people. During the pandemic, were you able to begin networking online and leveraging online virtual networking? That's what we're going to discuss. And today, let me bring up our first guest, and I'm going to bring up Sharon, and I'll let her introduce herself. Hi, Sharon.
Hey, Evie, how are you?
Awesome. I am loving the hair, Sharon. I am loving it. It looks very nice. I like it.
Thank you.
Sharon, I am so glad that you joined us. You know, you're one of two of my guests today, and I'm so delighted that you have joined us because I've been working with you for a little bit over a month, and I just totally love working with you. And before we get into how we met and talk a little bit more about networking and how to grow our list through networking and some of what we're doing tomorrow and some of what you're doing, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you, what you do?
Great. Yeah. So I work with speakers, podcasters, salespeople, and helping them to use their voice in a way that helps them be heard and actually takes their voice to the next level where people are going to want what they have to offer. And so I do that by just making quick fixes and subtle changes to the voice to make that happen.
I love it, and I'm particularly interested in learning from you because I am a speaker, and because, as you well know, the past month I had really bad allergies and lost my voice. So understanding what you have to teach me and your offering is so important to me. And before I bring on our second guest, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Linda Sherwin. Hi, Linda. Thanks for checking us out. She says she was joining and checking out what we were doing. So thank you, Linda. And let me bring in, and let's see how this works, our second guest speaker, and that is Dorothy Erlanger. Hey, Dorothy.
Oh, good afternoon. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Awesome. Dorothy, it's so great to have you. And you guys, Dorothy, you got your hair done too. You guys are looking smashing. Let's see if I can change the way this looks. Oh, well, that makes you guys, oh, there we go. I was able to change it. Oh, that's cool. So Dorothy, for those people that may be out there that don't know you, why don't you tell people a little bit about you, what you do, and how you help people?
Well, I do a lot of hybrid and virtual event production. So I produce hybrid and online events for individuals and organizations that want to shine online and create unforgettable experiences. I also help other people to understand this because many cases you'll have an entrepreneur who they're not going to be able to go out and hire a producer the first couple of times around. And I am just now about to launch a course specifically targeted to people who want to be able to comfortably launch their course, launch their program online.
Absolutely. And that's why the three of us are here, because tomorrow there'll be giving you a little tasting. I don't know how many of you that are out there love dark chocolate kisses, but I love dark chocolate kisses because, you know, they're delicious, they're tempting, and they don't make you fall off the wagon off your diet or if you're mining your calories like I am. And tomorrow, all of us are going to give you a little bit of tasting. or maybe for those of you who don't like dark chocolate, maybe it's a nice fruit. So tomorrow, we're going to be talking today a little bit about how we met and about networking. And they're going to talk about 3 little points that they're going to briefly touch on tomorrow. So you want to make sure that you join us tomorrow, because tomorrow the 3 of us are having a Synergy Partners networking event where, of course, you as our viewers can join us as our guests, the 3 of us. And we're each going to be using a platform for which you do not need to download anything. Yay, we love that, right? Not having to download anything. And each of us are going to be on a virtual stage, and then we're going to be separated into different tables where you'll be able to listen to Dorothy, you'll be able to listen to Sharon or to me. And then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to give you a little bit of more of what's coming in advance for these upcoming events that we all have. By the way, if you have not obtained your free ticket, that's right, your free ticket, make sure that you go to that bit.ly SPN63, which stands S for Synergy, P for Partners, and for Networking. And the 6-3, it's because it's tomorrow, June the 3rd. So all you have to do is register there. You will see that there's a small fee, but because you're here today, you can join us for free with a special code, which you are welcome to share with your partners. And that special code is very easy for you to remember. Is simply Synergy. So you make sure that you join, use the code Synergy, and by using the code Synergy, you can join us tomorrow in our Synergy Partners Networking. Now, ladies, let's talk a little bit about networking, because both of you do networking. So share a little bit about your experience in-person and in virtual networking, and how that has helped you to, specifically as the theme for me this month is, how that has helped you to grow your business by growing your list. So who would like to go first?
I can go.
Sharon, please tell us a little bit about how you've done networking and how that has helped you. And then I'll do Dorothy, and then we'll talk about how the 3 of us met.
Sure. So I've been really enjoying networking on Zoom online. That for me has been the easiest way to network. Just the way it's set up, it's a lot different, I think, than when we were doing in-person networking. And actually, in-person networking was a bit of a struggle for me. So the way working it on Zoom has been is just a really more organized and just really a great way to meet people and get connected. So there's been a lot of different groups that I found, even through meetups, to go and network, and even the various groups that we're in. That's been great for networking too. And I've had more connections in the past year than in a long time. So this has been great for me.
And I love that. You said 2 key things. What I heard you say is that it became easier to do it online, number 1. And number 2, that you connected with people. I love that word. That's why I said in the title for today's talk, I said how to connect, network, and synergize. Because people usually call it networking. I love the word connecting. And my own favorite word is synergizing. It's that idea that together, like the 2 of us are doing, like the 3 of us are doing, we're creating, instead of 3, 5, we're creating that synergistic effect. And I love that. By the way, in case you guys are wondering, I'm not at home because they're doing repairs. So I'm in an undisclosed location and there's not a lot of air. So I'm fanning myself with one of my beautiful mom, may she rest in peace, one of her fans. So I'm using a fan to fan myself. Oh gosh. So I love that. I love that online you are able to connect. And we're going to talk more about that. Dorothy, why don't you go ahead and share a little bit about your experience networking?
Well,
hold on. We got to do a shout out. We have Barbara Barron joining us. So ladies, let's do a shout out for Barbara Barron. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Dorothy. Pardon me.
No, that's all right. I will reflect and really emphasize what was just said, because I have done more networking and more effective networking over the past year than I had since I can remember. But I think there are a couple of keys to that. It's actually easier to find the groups of people with whom you have some affinity. So you've already screened out the 50 other people in the room that you would normally be trying to figure out who should I be talking with and shouldn't I be talking with. And I also find that, and may sound strange, I think that, and maybe it's my honesty or whatever, I think people are more willing to share and to share problems that they're having in the current environment, whether that's online or otherwise, than they were before. And that creates connection. So what I have done is actually I've focused more on 2 or 3 specific groups where I could really make a commitment and have really focused time there. And it's been just extremely valuable. And so, I mean, I've built a business from nothing, basically over my networking and people recommending me out from that and so on. So it's been a very interesting year, 15 months, however long it's been.
Well, I love that too, because you just said something so powerful. You built your business. You started because you rebranded yourself, and you're still kind of rebranded. You redid yourself, if you will. And that's how you've ran your business, through really connecting, synergizing online. And I love it. And so the way that we met, and I love that you said a few things that really resonated with me. You made a commitment, and I love that word, commitment, to put a little bit of time and effort. Now I'm paraphrasing what you said, to commit to 3 groups or so, not everybody. And I think that is so important, because we can become easily overwhelmed because, there are so many people online, whether on LinkedIn or Facebook. Yes?
Oh, yeah.
And it's easy. But when we think about who is our target, who is our dream client, as we like to call it here in Bizniversity. We like to call it, who is our dream client? Where do our dream clients hang out? Where they are online, that's where we want to be. And that's where we are, yes?
Yeah.
And coincidentally, that's how the 3 of us met, because we are all professional speakers. And by the way, Dorothy, I went to your second website and I love that video of you. I had never seen that video. Wow, Dorothy, you are amazing, by the way. I had never seen that second website that you have. And so we connected, and we are in several speakers group. And like for me, I started connecting with Dorothy last year, which I connected with her because I had the Speakers Growth Summit. And of course, she came and she took total control and released me of a big headache, because she produced the Speakers Growth Summit so that my head was clear. And that's what she created as her new business, even though she's a professional speaker in her own right, with her own merits and an amazing speaker. She began starting to help other speakers with virtual events, which she's going to talk a little bit more about that. And she's going to talk about how important that is, especially whether you want to do a challenge, a course, a networking event, how important it is that you make a choice. And the choice is going to be whether you want to go at it alone, and God help you with that, do the best you can. And I know, because I've been there too, and mercifully, people have been merciful with me and have not judged me too harshly, okay, when I've done that. Or you can get trained by her if that is what you want to do. Or you can simply say, you know what, I do, like Dorothy says, you do what you do best, and you do allow Dorothy to do the rest, because that's her specialty, that's her specialty, that's what she's good at. And so today she's going to talk a little bit about that. And that's how the 3 of us met. Now I want to give you a few quick tips, and then I'm going to let Dorothy, and then I'm going to allow Sharon to go ahead and speak. So what happened was that, of course, I connected with Dorothy, and from there we began a relationship. We had one-on-one meetings, and we began synergizing and brainstorming on how we can work together, how we can help each other. And that's why I like the word synergy, because we really began thinking, how can we synergize? How can we create that 1 + 1 = 3? And of course, I did not let go of Dorothy, because here she is today. As you can see, I haven't let go of her because I admire how she pivoted. Talk about a success story. She really pivoted successfully. And, not everybody did that in 2020. So she was able to do that. One of the things I like to do is when I'm in a Zoom or like tomorrow where we'll be in Air Meet, I immediately like to ask people, what is your website? This is something I do. And I immediately go check out their website, find out about people, and right on their websites, contact us. Or if I see something that says how I can contact them, I immediately send them a message. And for me, I'm a marketer, so I say, oh, I checked out your website, and I noticed something in particular that I may reference. Now, I've also done that where I've connected with people on LinkedIn, on YouTube, wherever I can. But the idea is, for me anyway, I connect with people right away. And I ask, how can we synergize? That's actually how I ask people. How can we partner together? Can we work together in some way? Can we see, where are there synergies? And should we make a one-on-one meeting? And I do that right away. Because in the past, I'm like Sharon, I never liked networking. The live networking events, because people used to come to me when I used to go to chamber meetings, and they used to do this. You know what this is? Your business card. Yeah, people are passing out their business cards. Then they're talking. I will let them talk. They will never allow me to talk. And they're just like trying to sell me right then and there. Now, for anyone who has ever listened to any of my shows or participated in any of my challenges, I only had one, my challenge, you know that I talk about the buyer's journey. And I talk about the importance of us really dating each other, because it is kind of like dating. I mean, you meet an awesome person, you like them, you don't immediately say, hey, do you want to marry me? You want to move in? Hey, let's be life partners forever. No. Similarly, when we meet people, we cannot be selling them right away. We have to develop a relationship or look at ways that we can work together, how we can synergize together. So those just are a few of my tips. And now one of my synergy partners here is Dorothy. I would like her to tell us just a tasting, because tomorrow she's going to tell us a little more. And of course, she's going to tell us about her event. So Dorothy, when it comes to putting together, whether it is a course, a networking event, or anything online, can you shed some light and of your expertise, whether as an attendee and of course, as a producer extraordinaire?
Yes, well, I think as we've gone over this year, there have been some really big lines in the sand drawn, and that's those people who can do it well and engage their audience and people have fun, and those who stumble around. And you don't want to stumble around. And the way I describe it for speakers is that if you stop and think, when you're speaking on stage, would you come in and manage the lighting? Would you come in and manage the sound? And oh, by the way, when something goes wrong, would you stop your speech and fix it? And would you be managing who's coming in the door? A producer does all of that for you. Now, not everybody can always have their own producer for some of their early events. You might have a small webinar that you're starting off with, and you can just simply, it's not going to work. So what I've done over time as part of my give is, first of all, I started running a free Zoom learning lab. And out of that, I came up with the realization that what's really needed is a really straightforward course that will teach people who just need enough to run that first webinar or course or coaching session or networking event that will get them through from A to Z without getting into trouble, that will get them through smoothly and with confidence. And so that's why I developed the new course that I am launching, is to take people who say, gosh, Dorothy, I'd love to use your services, but right now that's not an option for me. I still want them to come across as super professional when they present their own course. And so that's why this has been developed. Some of the absolute keys are: look into your camera, get a decent microphone before you do anything else. Frankly, sound is absolutely critical. You don't need lots of bells and whistles. You need some decent lighting. It's not very expensive. Secret. The only significant investment I made after I started doing really heavy duty producing, and that was I really needed to upgrade my computer for the processor speed. But for the average individual, even that's not going to be necessary. So you can do this, and you can do it professionally, and you can do it smoothly. You just need certain skills. So this is boiling down all that stuff that's out there into what are the fundamental skills that you really need to understand. You're muted.
Absolutely. Thank you. And tomorrow, when we do our Synergy Partners networking, perhaps you could give us a few tips on how we can truly begin leveraging doing these Zoom meetings to connect more. Like, for example, if you recall, when we were in our 3-day client attraction retreat, I talked about Calendly and scheduling Zooms to do one-on-one meetings, networking on Zoom with Calendly. And when I suggested if you're using Calendly, please post yes in the chat so I can see you. If you use Calendly, I always ask for you to post some questions for people in advance of you meeting them in your Zoom meeting. What else can people do if they want to connect with someone leveraging Zoom and virtually, Dorothy?
Well, I think you already mentioned one thing, and that is if you're looking to connect with somebody, go look at their LinkedIn profile, go look at their website, ask them a couple of questions related to that, or find out about something that you want to jointly learn about, or something where your experience or where you lived or whatever complements that person. That's your first level of connection. When you get into a Zoom meeting, if it's a one-on-one, make it as much as possible like a true conversation as if you were sitting in person. If you have more than that, incorporate some engagement tools. Ask questions that people answer in the chat. Use a poll to decide on which topics you're going to cover in more depth. It's brilliant. Works really well. And there are some very simple additional tools that you can use that will just generate ongoing engagement with your audience. The more you use of that, the more you need somebody there to help you. But as long as you lay it out carefully for yourself, what I call a run of show, you can still do it. You can still manage that as you go through. And Evie, you were a perfect example of that when you ran your retreat.
Yes, and I was blessed that you were there. And then a few times that I was like, what? Because I didn't know how to use Zoom, but you helped me. And I'm going to ask you more about that a little later. But what I want to do is, Dorothy, in the back end, if you can put your link, that way I can put it in a banner after I'll bring it back before we finish the show today. I want to make sure that I change this banner because I know I already have Sharon's bit.ly, but put it here in the back private chat so that I can share it with everybody.
Okay.
And now I want to hear from you, Sharon. Sharon, tell us more about how important our voices, because truthfully, especially when we are prospecting, when we're meeting people, and we want to begin that relationship with them, we really need to understand the power of our voice, especially as professional speakers, podcasters. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So our voices, when we're speaking, they're vibrating back through to the other body and back to us. So those vibrations, when they connect with another person, that's the true emotional connection that begins to happen. And depending on how your voice sounds, they are going to process that sound and they're going to make a quick judgment about you and who you are just through the sound of your voice. So it's so important that you're using your voice in a way that really connects. And so when we think about 85% of the world is monotone, that means they're using from 1 to maybe 3 different notes, tones in their speaking voice. When we think about monotone, the first thing that people come up with is the fact that you are, if you keep hearing it long enough, you're going to get bored. You're going to tune out. So one of the biggest things that probably most people could do is to add more melody into their voice. And just that bit of change can make such a greater connection with people. Because when we think about raising our sounds, going up and down and creating melody, you actually are just even going to sound happier. And right there, that's a bonus in itself. Just to be happier and more engaged around people is going to bring people in, and they're going to want to hear more from you. So that's one of the little things that you can do. And that's why I say it's just small, little, subtle changes that can make a huge difference on how you connect with people. Because in the end, people, I mean, you want to be heard by people, and you are going to create such a greater confidence in yourself by just doing the different various changes that have people listen to you. You are going to have people who are going to look into your eyes more. They're going to notice you more. They're going to say things that are like, oh, wow, did you get a new haircut? It's might be things not related to what you're doing, but they're looking at you. They're noticing you. And that's huge. Now you've created that connection, that emotional connection that really needs to happen in order for us to have, like you're saying, Evie, that synergy. So creating all these different little small changes just is the essence of being connected with people and creating the basis for people to want what you have to offer.
I absolutely appreciate you saying that, because many times when we are networking, connecting, or synergizing, either in person, live, or over the phone, or over Zoom, we forget how we need to use our voice to demonstrate the different things, especially like going back to, let's call it the old fashioned way, over the phone, where people are not seeing your face. How essential, like if you're a podcaster, for example, I mean, a podcaster really needs to learn from you, in my opinion, how they can truly leverage their voice so that they can convey their message clearly when they want to have it be sounding exciting, so they can do different emotions through their voice. And interestingly that you were talking, and I want to just give a shout out to Beverly, who I know she's begun podcasting, because hi Beverly, because I know that this training that you are going to give us a little more tomorrow during our Synergy Partners Networking, and then you're going to tell us more about where else we can find out more, because I know you also have a great event coming up. I think it's so important. And I think that salespeople haven't realized that, even if you go back to the good old days of just phone, they haven't realized how important that connection to really be able to generate, that relationship, to begin that buyer's journey, to get someone to buy from you, how important your voice is, even in that traditional, not Zoom, but phone calls. Yes?
Yeah. Well, and think about telemarketers who call you and what they sound like. You're just like, oh, really? You're doing your job. That's all you're doing, because it sounds just, I'm saying my script. Or,
yes.
Or how about your voicemail message?
Yes.
Go listen to that. Go back and listen and see how you react to your own voicemail message. Does it sound like you want them to leave a message? I don't know.
That is so true, especially like many of us are not people that have a high sense of the auditory. We're not so audio, we're more visual. Like most of us in the United States are very visual. So on the phone, on podcasting, I think that is so essential. So I want to go ahead and share your bit.ly here, because tell us, you have a very, very awesome training coming up, and we're in the early stages. And can you tell us a little bit about what you have coming up next month?
Yeah, so it's the 5-day challenge. It's empower your voice and stand out, for your voice to be incredible and to really connect. And this is going to be a challenge where you're going to find out what it takes, what you need to connect with people, and then how to incorporate those into just what you do daily. And you'll get to practice that. So we're going to do that. It's going to be July 12th through the 16th. And I'm really excited because I have several different levels that you can choose from. You can go from just to being that challenger to the superstar to the VIP. And we've got I'm offering a lot to give you in order for you to really enhance and create the authentic voice that's for you.
I really am looking forward to that, because I know that there is so much power in how you leverage your voice. I mean, we think about all these tools like Zoom. Tomorrow we're going to use AirMe, all the different tools that Dorothy uses when she's producing and when she's teaching us to use. And this right here, our voice, is our number one most important tool that we really need to understand how to leverage it, how to use it appropriately. So for those of you who are watching, you have a little time away to go ahead and take advantage of it today, though, so that you put it on your calendar so that you do not miss it. It's bit.ly Standout Challenge. bit.ly Standout Challenge. So make sure you go to bit.ly Standout Challenge so that you can join Sharon's very powerful 5-day challenge, so that you can really learn how to leverage this powerful tool to the best of your capability, so that you don't lose your voice like I did like 2 weeks ago. Sharon, let's put you on mute, and let's come back to Dorothy real quickly so that Dorothy can tell us a little bit about what I have a link for her. Dorothy, I have 2 links. Which one do you want me to share?
Go ahead and share the one for the page on the site. I don't have a bit.ly set up for it yet, but it's more complete. So this is a way that you can take a look at information. The first one, though, will take you direct to the registration. So I think you want to let people look at more about it. So the landing page on my site is the place to go. Okay. So, here's what's going to happen.
Tell us more about it. I'm going to create my own bit.ly, so I'll track it from the show.
I was just about to go to bit.ly when you came back to me. So what I've learned out of doing so much production is you don't have to be super sophisticated in order to do this well. But so I'm going to take this down to, what do you really need to know? What's really going to get you through this, and how are you going to make it work? I'm going to go through security options. I'm going to go through webinar versus meeting. Which one do you really want? A lot of times people talk about webinar, but what they really need is meeting. We're going to go through how often should you break up your course with some kind of an engagement tool, and some ideas on what to do with that, to whatever degree people want on that one. Some people will have come in with their course already super well developed. Some probably want a little polishing up along the way, and we can work on that. And there will also be lots of group interaction, because one of the things that I've learned from many of my interactions, and particularly in the Zoom Learning Lab, is there's always someone else in the group who has a contribution, or has a tool, or has a comment that's of value to the entire group. And I love that. This is very interactive stuff. It's really a lot of fun. And I also get a lot of pleasure out of watching people develop their own skills and their confidence in using them. It's kind of fun. You can tell I come from a training background as well as speaking. I guess it still shows. But we will go through it in a very logical sequence, as opposed to just sort of pick and choose topics. So I'm going to take people through from what are the settings you need, through to how do you work with it, through to how do you manage a technical problem that comes up, through to what do you do about the recording. If you want to, do you want to record to the cloud or your computer? There's a lot of decisions along the way, but we're going to just peel it away, and there are going to be checklists provided at a bunch of different points here, so that people will have those to go back to when they're setting up their next course. So that, and they will also, of course, have access to the recordings. So it's going to be a fun 4 weeks. I'm kind of, I mean, the title of the program relates to the tech, but the subtitle is Get Her Done in June. So
I love it.
yeah.
And so the bit.ly for Dorothy is bit.ly Zoom Dorothy. There's a lot of Zoom taken out, but then you can create. I didn't want to use the one for the actual name because maybe you can take that one, Dorothy. So this one is bit.ly Zoom Dorothy. So you remember that Dorothy's going to be, you're going to land on her page. And I know that many of you perhaps may have questions from our guest panelists, and that is why we want to make sure that you join us tomorrow. We want to make sure that you show up tomorrow for our Synergy Partners Networking event. Now, as we said, there is a bit.ly for this event, and you can go there right now and use the word Synergy as your discount code, and you will pay nothing, because we want to make sure that tomorrow we're going to give you a few tips. So let's talk really briefly, and you guys could unmute yourself, about a little bit of what's going to happen tomorrow in AirMeet. And I know that Dorothy, you may be a little bit more familiar, so I perhaps will let you go first, and then Sharon. I know, Dorothy, that I've already set up everything for Sharon. Sharon sent me a bunch of stuff, and we're going to have everything set up for you tomorrow. And so tell us a little bit about this new platform that we're going to be playing in, because tomorrow we're going to be playing, connecting, synergizing, and learning. So tell us a little bit about the AirMeet, where, by the way, people, we don't have to download anything with AirMeet. All you have to do is go to the bit.ly SPN 6-3, stands for June 3rd, which is tomorrow at 2 p.m. and join us there for 1 hour, and we'll be synergizing tomorrow. So Dorothy, go ahead and tell us a little bit about AirMeet and how we connect and synergize there.
Well, AirMeet is just a great platform for this. It has main stage capabilities where you can have somebody up there doing a speech and so on, just like a lot of other people. But what AirMeet provides that is just fantastic is you can sit around at round tables, and you can choose the table, and you can see who's at the table before you go there, and you can move yourself from table to table. And it's like sitting around a conference table, because as soon as you're at the table, all you're doing is talking with the people that are at that table. And it's just a great way to say, oh, gee, I want to go talk to Sharon. She's sitting over there, just like you're walking into a ballroom. And you go sit down at Sharon's table, and you join in the conversation there. So that's the primary tool that we're going to be using tomorrow. There's another one that's fun, that if you were ever in a larger meeting in AirMeet, they have a networking situation where you say, okay, I'm ready to network. And it's like somebody walks up to you in the hallway. Somebody just
We are going to do that. We're doing that tomorrow. Yeah, so tomorrow we're going to be, the three of us will come. So it's only an hour. We're going to talk a little bit. Then people will have a chance to go to each of our tables. Then we're going to do the speed networking.
Right.
And then the three of us will come together again to the main stage. So it's just like having a conference, and we'll come together to the main stage. So people are going to get to experience that tomorrow.
Yeah, it's such a fun thing. People really get a big kick out of it, and they meet people that it's just like being in a convention hall. You meet people that you wouldn't have stopped to talk with otherwise. And you can set it for short period, speed networking. You can set it for short periods of time, or you can set it for longer if you wanted to, but this is going to be speed networking. And I will tell you something, if anybody is working on major conferences, AirMeet now also has a phenomenally built out exhibits and sponsorship area that I'm working on a major conference where that platform was chosen probably more specifically for that than about anything else. So they've really developed over the past year.
I'm thinking that I may use that for the 2021 Speakers Growth Summit, but we'll say more about that. For now, I want to go ahead and I'm going to ask you guys a couple of questions before we sign off, and I'm going to rotate both of your banners. I want to just make sure everybody knows that they can join us tomorrow. We're going to continue this conversation, and we're going to have fun tomorrow. We're going to be doing some fun networking tomorrow. So make sure that you join us tomorrow for that. And then I also want to let people know that this series has been, and tomorrow's event has been sponsored by the upcoming Grow Your Client List Fast 5-day challenge, which starts on Monday, June 7th. We are launching our second ever challenge, and we're going to be focusing on how to grow your list fast. And that's why the three of us came together. And so tomorrow we're going to be doing the kickstart. So we're going to kickstart that. So we're going to talk a little bit more about how to really grow our list and how to grow our list so that we can grow our business. So tomorrow we're going to be doing a little celebration. So come ready to network, or synergize as I like, and come ready to have some fun. And by the way, if you have not obtained your ticket, make sure that today you go to Grow Your List Fast Challenge. And, we're going to have a lot of surprises tomorrow, which after this, the ladies and I are meeting because we want to make it fun for you. So we are going to have surprises. We're going to have some games. We're going to come up with some stuff because the three of us are very creative. So make sure that you reserve your spot for both our Synergy Partners networking tomorrow, as well as our Grow Your Client List Fast, a 5-day challenge starting on Monday. Monday is the 7th, and we're going to start at 1 p.m., same time as this, and we're going to have that. So make sure that you check out that event. And now I want to talk to you guys about something. We met through networking. We have developed a relationship, as I said, and both of you I've had the pleasure of working with you. Hi, Felicia. It's Felicia signing up now. Felicia, I love it. She is an action taker. She is amazing. I love that. Go ahead, Felicia. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow and in the rest of the events that we have coming up in June and July. So both of you, I had the pleasure of working with both of you in my 3-day, well, actually, both of you participated a little bit in the client attraction challenge that I did in May. Then for the past month, people do not know this, I call you guys Synergy Partners because we have actually been working together in our businesses, because I gave you guys a bonus. You participated in the 3-day client attraction retreat. So we've been working together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take myself out, and I'm going to let you guys go ahead and say a little bit about how was your experience working with me for the last 2 months, and who wants to go first? Dorothy? Okay, so I'll hide myself. I think if I hit remove, I just hide myself, right? And then I'll leave the two of you up there. So Dorothy and then Sharon, and then I'll come back.
Well, I found the retreat to be really powerful and well structured, and really made us work through, not just think through, but work through our strategies and work through specifics. And then the follow-on, I haven't been able to do as much of it, I think, as Sharon has, so she can comment even further, really cemented that as well. We had a really tremendously interactive group. Obviously, Evie brings huge amounts of expertise, and there were other people that were adding to that as we went through it. And that's a lot of what makes an event of that sort so valuable. So Sharon, why don't you pick up from there?
Sure. Especially Evie has such an energy that just has you want to really dive in and you really explore everything. That's what I really liked about, especially the retreat and in the worksheets that she gave us, being able to visually put down and really see what is going to happen in the future. We created the plan. And I think that's key, because for me, I need to see what those goals are for the future, where I'm headed. And then especially having worked the past few weeks with her after the retreat, having to really dive in even deeper and finding out, especially for me, things that are missing, those little holes. It's, when you get and you learn something new, you have it in your head and you have a good idea of, okay, this is what I need to do. But yet you might think, well, there's feels like there's something missing. There's these holes. And that's what Evie did. She filled in the holes and really made me see what I needed to follow through on, what I need to do, what was missing. And especially for me, marketing is a weak area for me, and getting clients is a weak area. And so it really strengthened me with tools that I could use and really be able to see a direction and have a better sense of where I'm headed with it. And especially this whole thing with synergy. I think that has been just the best thing. That has really made it so that I can see that, here we've got something going on, and I'm going to have an even more successful challenge than the last two I had. And I'm very excited about that. So yeah, so it's been great. It's just been a great experience.
And I will second what you say on Evie's energy and doing some fun things as we were going, because we all know that spending 2 or 3 days, 5, 6 hours, that's a long period of time. But the energy just did not flag in that group. Evie didn't let it. It was great.
Yes. Exciting. Very exciting. Definitely.
Thank you so much, ladies. And so would you recommend that people jump on our next Bizniversity.com Grow Your Client List Fast 5-day challenge?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. So if you're out there checking out our video, make sure that you join our Bizniversity.com Grow Your List Fast 5-day challenge that we're kicking off tomorrow. Tomorrow, the 3 of us have an air meet event, and you are welcome to reserve your spot to synergize, to connect, to create this synergy, or more powerful than the 3 of us have created, with other people who are going to be joining our group tomorrow. So make sure that you check out our bit.ly there, which is bit.ly SPM63, or you can go to Bizniversity.com. You'll see it right in the front homepage that you can register and make your spot for our Synergy Partners Networking tomorrow, June the 3rd at 2 p.m. Make sure that you use the code SYNERGY, as we are hosting you tomorrow, and it would be our pleasure to have you. And we want to have fun together and learn how to grow our business by growing our list in a fun way. So ladies, anything else you want to add before we say goodbye? I want to thank all our guests. People were coming in and out. Anything else you guys want to add before we say goodbye?
I'm good. Thanks.
So I want to remind everyone, make sure that you add Evie at Bizniversity after you sign up or register for any of our events, because you want to make sure that you get my emails. As I said, we have an upcoming standout challenge in July. You can check out that bit.ly. We'll have all of these posted here for you as well. And then, of course, remember that we have, and it doesn't in any way interrupt being part of, you could be part of the 5-day, and you could do Dorothy's training on bit.ly Zoom Dorothy, which her training is once a week for 4 weeks at 11 to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can take advantage of all the events, and we're going to tell you more about them tomorrow. And there are certain perks that you want to take advantage of by joining us early and on time rather than waiting for the last minute. So we hope to see everyone there tomorrow. Wherever you are, please take a look below, as we have several links, and also below this video, as we have other links that are showing up. Feel free to contact all of us, Sharon, Dorothy, and myself. Either post something beneath one of these, wherever you're in LinkedIn, on YouTube, or on Facebook. Just make sure that you add who your question is for. If you have a question for Dorothy, write Dorothy's name. For Sharon, Sharon's. For mine. For now, I just want to once again say thank you. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Beverly. They're saying thank you. Thank you, Felicia, for all of them for having joined our day today. And we look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow. Thank you very much for being part of today, ladies. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.